everybody, welcome to this video from I'm Andy, I'm your host, and today we're talking about Octopus Energy, Haste and the industry corruption. So let me just say one thing, this isn't about just one person. That's one thing I want to get through. This is about all of you, every single one of you that has been mistreated, bullied and manipulated by energy suppliers who think they're above the law. I mean, what started as a simple case of one individual fighting back against an unjust warrant of entry has now grown into something much bigger. We've uncovered widespread abuse of power, systemic failures in how energy companies enforce debt, and a legal loophole that is being exploited to force people into financial ruin. And now we're taking the fight all the way to the Energy Ombudsman and beyond. So how did this all start? Well, it all started when Octopus Energy applied for a warrant to enter a home under an alleged safety check. Despite the fact that a formal complaint was already open with the Energy Ombudsman, the account had been transferred illegally from Shell Energy to Octopus, no proper investigation into the dispute had been conducted, and no vulnerability assessment was done, even though the customer's medical condition was disclosed. They had no legal justification to force entry, but they went to court anyway. But here's where things get even worse. Despite clear procedural failures, the magistrates granted the warrant anyway. However, we had a partial victory on that. Despite a power of attorney being in place, the court refused to acknowledge it. Despite evidence of an active ombudsman's case, they refused to halt enforcement. This is how broken the system is. Energy companies aren't being held accountable, and magistrates are rubber stamping warrants without even reviewing the details properly. So, the warrant was granted, but we had a partial victory. What happened next proved that Octopus Energy knew their case was not as strong as they made it seem. The magistrates restricted the warrant, they were blocked from installing a prepayment meter, and they were prohibited from disconnecting the energy supply. Why? Because even in court it was clear that Octopus Energy didn't follow the rules properly. This wasn't the full victory we wanted, but is enough to expose their weaknesses. And that's when we turned our attention to the Energy Ombudsman, forcing Octopus Energy to submit their so-called evidence. And I go, evidence. So when Octopus Energy finally handed their evidence over, we expect to see proper legal documentation back in their claim. Instead, what we got was a complete joke. They submitted a timeline of emails and letters, but guess what? Go on, have a guess. Yeah. There's no warrant application, there's no proof of vulnerability assessment, no internal records explaining their decision to escalate to legal enforcement, and just a bunch of emails to make it look like engagement. In reality, they ignored the real issues. Now, one thing I will say on these points, I got to talk to the national manager of Haste. If they come to someone's house and they see an implied rights of access, etc. on the window, they class us as sovereign idiots. This is from the national manager of Haste. So this needs to be investigated. Also, if you refuse entry for an alleged safety check, they put it down that you've automatically changed your meters. They class it as they have rogue meters. They're working on presumptions. It's ridiculous, and they're getting away with it, and no one's standing up to it. We are. I've had enough. It's about time we stood up to this. And it's a classic corporate trick. When companies know they haven't followed their own rules, they realise they have to drown people in paperwork, make it look like they followed due process, when in reality, they did everything they could do to rush enforcement without proper investigation. But now we've exposed it. We've even got documentation somewhere from the national manager of what they use against us. Do you know what? It's scandalous. But now we've exposed it. They cannot prove they had a lawful basis to apply for the warrant. They cannot prove the assessed customer's vulnerability for enforcement. And they cannot prove they acted fairly before escalating to a legal claim. This is just the beginning of their problems. This is where it gets even better. As we dug deeper, we found an even bigger issue that could collapse Octopus Energy's entire case. This account should never, ever have been transferred to Octopus Energy in the first place. Why? Because Shell Energy transferred the account while there's an unresolved dispute, which is illegal under Ofgem's rules. And that's not all. A promissory note was issued to Shell Energy. This means the debt should have been considered settled, not transferred. Shell never had the right to sell the account to Octopus, and Octopus never had the right to enforce it. No contract exists between the customer and Octopus Energy, making their entire claim unenforceable. If the transfer was illegal, then Octopus Energy has no legal basis to claim anything, and we are demanding that the Energy Ombudsman formally investigate this issue. Why does this matter though? Why does this matter for you? Because if we win this case, it doesn't just help one person. It sets a legal precedent that could help protect thousands of people from being targeted by energy suppliers who think they can force their way into homes without due process. If we don't stand up to them, what happens next? More people will be legally forced onto prepayment meters. More homes will be broken into rubber stamp warrants. More vulnerable customers will be left to suffer while energy companies profit. This is a broken system, and we're exposing every single failure in real time. This isn't just about one case. This is about taking on an entire industry that thinks it's untouchable. It's about proving that customers have rights and we will not be bullied. It's making sure that energy suppliers are held accountable for their illegal practices. We are not stopping. We are pushing the Ombudsman. We are challenging Octopus Energy and Haste. We will keep exposing every single failure, every deception and every legal act. Because when we win this, we win for everyone. This fight isn't over. We need your support to keep pushing forward. Follow our updates. Stay informed on our latest developments. If you've been mistreated by an energy supplier, reach out. Your story matters. Share this video because the more people know, the harder it is for these companies to get away with it. We will not stop until real change happens. Help us join this challenge, spread the word, and let's hold these companies accountable. Remember as well, we recently beat Utility Warehouse. We beat them on the fact that they breached their own rules and regulations, and they've now been forced to do a public apology, refund, compensation, etc. We have the power. We really do have the power to do this. But we need people to join and we need people to help us. So thank you for watching. Have an amazing day, and we'll speak again soon with more updates. Much love to all of you. Bye-bye.